Welcome to the new concept on understanding the concepts of approaches to HR evaluation. There are several approaches to human resource evaluation, and the most prominent of them are audit approach, analytical approach, qualitative and quantitative approach, balanced scorecard, and benchmarking. Now let's try to understand each approaches one by one. Now the first approach under HR evaluation is the audit approach. Now HRM audit is a process of evaluating the effectiveness of the HR function. So the HRM audit as its financial audit counterpart possesses the following elements, that is independence from the subject being audited, technical work in the form of a systematic gathering and analysis of data, an evaluation of the HR activities, policies, and systems based on the evidence, a clearly defined objective of the process, and the last one is the action in response to the audit findings. The human resource management audit offers several benefits as outlined below. The HR audit provides verifiable data on the human resource management function that clarifies the HR functions, duties, and responsibilities, identifies the critical HR problems, helps align HR strategy with the organizational strategy, improves the status of HR function, helps to reduce the HR cost, and also it helps review and improve the human resource information system. Now, there are several approaches to the HR audit, and the five major approaches for the purpose of evaluation is the comparative approach, outside authority approach, statistical approach, compliance approach, management by objectives, which is also known as MBO approach. So it may be stated that irrespective of these approaches, the data for assessment are provided by the HR research. Now, in the comparative approach, the auditors identify another company as a model. The results of their organization are compared with those of the model company. The second one is the outside authority approach, is that often the auditors use the standards set by an outside consultant as a benchmark for the comparison of their own results. The third one is a statistical approach. Here, the statistical measures of the performance are developed based on the company's existing information. So, examples of such measures are absenteeism of the employees and turnover rates. So, these data help the auditors assess the performance. In the compliance approach, the auditors review their past actions to determine if those activities comply with the legal requirements and company policies and procedures. And the final approach is the MBO approach, which create a specific goals against which the performance can be measured. So then the audit team researches the actual performance and compares it with the objectives which has been framed as a standard by the company. So the MBA approach act as a final approach for the specialist and operating managers to set the objectives in the area of the responsibility. The second approach to human resource management evaluation is the analytical approach. The analytical approach relies on the cost benefit analysis, which is also known as utility analysis. Now, in utility analysis, it seeks to express the evaluation in economic terms which are more useful for decision makers. So, several HR activities have been evaluated with the utility analysis, including appraisal systems, employee hiring, training, and turnover. So, although utility analysis has a wide applicability and represents a quantitatively superior means of evaluating the HR activities, the process is very difficult. Because of this difficulty, the amount of resources and effort required for analysis, its use and is being limited to only a specific situations. The third one is a quantitative indices or the matrices which are available to determine the effectiveness of the HRM. For example, any companies can calculate the cost of turnover, absenteeism cost, cost of work-life programs, cost per hire, lead time to fill the vacancies, HR expense factor, or the training cost. Let's take an example in retailing. There is a chain of cause and effect running from employee behavior to the consumer behavior to the profit, right? So human resource management department itself can be treated as a profit center. So these and other indicators, when calculated and compared with other firms, give a fair picture about the outcome of the HR functions and and its activities. So excessive reliance on quantitative indices to evaluate the HRM effectiveness, however objective they may appear, may be dysfunctional. The next approach in the HR evaluation is the balanced scorecard perspective. So, balanced scorecard was developed by Robert Kaplan and David P. Norton, which evaluate the HRM effectiveness. So, the balanced scorecard contains four dimensions. The first one is the financial dimension, second, customer service, third is the business processes, and the fourth is the capacity to learn and achieve the growth. So within these four areas, managers need to identify the key performance indicators the organization should track. Now, under the financial dimension, it reflects a concern that the organization's activities contribute to improving the short-term and the long-term financial performances. Under customer service perspective, which measures things as how customers view the organization, as well as the customer retention and the satisfaction aspect. The third one is the business processes, which indicates the focus on production and operating statistics such as order fulfillment or the cost per order. The final component relates to the human resources, its potential to learn and grow. So this perspective seeks to focus on how well resources and human capital are being managed for the company's benefits. So the balanced scorecard provides a balanced picture of current performance as well as the triggers for the future performance. So the scorecard helps managers align their business units as well as their financial, physical, and the human resources to the firm's overall strategy. So what needs emphasis is that the HR evaluation should not confine only to people dimension of the scorecard. The HR professional should be judged on all the dimensions of the scorecard. HR executives tend to believe that their success should be judged only by the extent to which they meet the employee needs. So as a scorecard indicates, employee commitment is only one criteria for effective HR performance, and HR professionals will be held accountable for all the dimensions as other managers. The last approach under HR evaluation is the benchmarking. Now, benchmarking involves employees learning and adopting the so-called best practices by comparing their human resource management practices with those of other more successful organizations. So, benchmarking essentially involves that employees study the practices followed in competing firms and evaluating their own practices with those thus collected. Okay. Besides evaluation of own HR practices, benchmarking enables managers to learn from other firms and adopt the effective HR strategies. So in addition, benchmarking can help create and initiate the need for change because it identifies what an organization needs to do to improve relative to the HR strategy in excellent companies. Final concept under this is how the benchmarking involves in the 7 sequential steps. Okay, it identify the HR practices for the benchmarking. Second is to constitute a core or a project team to handle the benchmarking processes. The third one is to identify benchmarking partners, so-called organization from the same or different industry, competitors or non-competitors or international firms who are known to have tried the best practices successfully. So they need to collect from those people and then try to evaluate their own HR practices in the organization. The fourth one is to collect the data from each of the benchmarking partners. So, for example, they need to collect the data from the model A, so-called the competitor of A, competitor firm of B and C. Okay, so all these data have to be collected and they have to analyze their standard with their actual performance. Analyze and interpret the data would be the fifth step. Sixth one would be prepare a comprehensive report based on the data analysis and which has been interpreted. So this is usually how you do a project. You know, you have all the chapters. So the first is the introduction. You will try to give a lot of theoretical aspects which covers all related on the particular topic. So you do all such analysis. The second one is review of literature, where you collect the information of the people who have studied that particular topic. Okay, you collect all this information, so that would cover under the second chapter, that would be the review of literature. And the third one is all related to your organization, and the fourth one is a data analysis and the interpretation. So data analysis and interpretation is whatever the question you have framed and then which you have given forward to the company, you are executing it in a result format, and the result format is whatever the statistical data you have adopted, and that you are putting it in an interpreter. So you are interpreting the data which is being collected as a result for your particular study. So this can be applied to any of the organization as their HR evaluation practices. And the last one is to develop action plans to improve the HR strategies and the practices.